Adamantis, welcome to 69 Festival of Rock. How are you guys doing today?
They're fantastic, thank you.
Thanks. Doing pretty good.
Introduce yourself, tell me what you do in the band.
Yeah, well, do you want to start?
My name is Jeff. I am the singer for Adamantis.
And I am Evgeny, I'm the drummer of the band.
So tell me about the beginnings of Adamantis.
Maybe
I'll take
one. Yeah, so I'll take one. So before Jeff joined the band, we had another singer, a female singer called Ashley Cavall, and essentially we started in about 2016, like a very small project. Literally, the plan was to just get out and play some local gigs, and we scrambled a couple of local musicians who wanted to play the same music as we liked, kind of European-inspired power metal and with a touch of classical heavy metal. And so that was how we did about 2016 in Boston.
The name Adamantis sounds very Greek. What are the origins?
Very good question. So Adamantis really derives from the Greek, word or etymologically related to adamantium or adamant. It's the same root, which means something unbreakable, something impossible to break. So it's some sort of name that tries to convey the message that what we are creating, we hope will last forever. It's unbreakable in its nature.
Obviously, you're not from Greece, so where are you guys from?
Well, the band itself, we're out of Boston, Massachusetts.
But I myself, I'm originally from Russia, so there is that Greek connection, since Russian and Greek
same
cultures.
continent.
Right, same continent, but also same, similarity in the alphabet. We have the Cyrillic alphabet that came from the Greeks, and Russia traditionally also shared the same religion. The Orthodox religion came as well from Greece, and my name has Greek origin. Evgeny, which means well-born, or as well as a very Greek, very classic as well name, right? So,
what is the Boston local metal scene like?
wow.
Boston metal scene? I think it's doing pretty well for the most part. There seems to be a metal show out in New England area pretty regularly.
I mean, we have, I think,
You've been in it a little longer than I have.
Right, so
that came out of Seattle a few years ago, just prior to COVID.
Right, so as an outsider, right, you can already appreciate we have a very rich community in Boston. There is definitely, big bands that came out from Boston. Everybody knows, Aerosmith or Converge, right? Those kind of big names that came out of the town. But there is also many, smaller acts. Underground scene is very strong and very vibrant. We have nice promoters. For example, the Heavy Talent Promotion Agency that actually runs many worldwide tours with acts like Savage Master. They actually are based in Boston. So Aaron Gray, my friend, he's actually...
I think Kelly Savalas just got in town.
Hi. So we're so he really moves the underground scene. He's a tremendous powerhouse in the local scene, moving underground, and relatively well-established act as well. And then we have also Worcester, which is the place where we host the Stonebringer Metal Festival, which has its own kind of also community, and there is this kind of club called Palladium that also drives a lot of more bigger acts.
So what inspired you to be in a band or do music?
For me, since I can remember being a kid, I always loved music. My father was a big part of me getting into music. He was into heavy metal, bands of the 80s and stuff. I grew up listening to all that stuff, but going through school, doing choir stuff even for a little while, and then just one day I decided I want to get into music, so I put my name out there, started doing some smaller bands over the years, of course, and between Seattle and here now, and just making it happen. Music in general has always been
well, you did great
part of my
things.
soul.
Like you can actually talk a little bit about what
Malfunction,
you did.
So it's it's a Seattle band, actually, a legendary Seattle band. If anybody out there listens to the old underground grunge, like Mother Love Bone, itself, the singer from Mother Love Bone founded Malfunction with the brother who I'm with now. So they're kind of the godfathers of grunge, but it's not quite metal, but it's still.
But it's out there.
It's all entwined in a sense.
How would you describe the music you play?
I would say it's power metal, but with
Trad influences?
with trad and US power metal influences. I think it's we're trying to strive a blend between US and European power metal, with the US influence being a little bit more focused on the slower tempo, more epic songs, not so fast, not so much driven by these fast, Euro tendencies. But we also like to add a little bit of fast elements that are, and that are common in Europe. Also, both Javier and I, we grew up in the 90s power metal scene in Spain, so that kind of is in our vein. We listen to that music, Blind Guardian, Gamma Ray, Halloween, that was kind of our
Point of entry.
Right, and so we kind of still distill that. Whenever we take an instrument, we kind of naturally, gravitate towards some of those places. So epic power metal or heavy metal with power metal influences, you name it.
So in 2018, your first EP comes out, right? How did the metal world react to that?
No reaction.
No reaction. Flatline.
Flatline. Nobody knew. Nobody cared. And for good reasons, right? We just released that as a way to literally get something out so that we can get on more local shows. That was like hey, we're a band, we actually have our own original music, let's get some shows going down in the local area.
And did the shows happen?
Yes, we started to play all around the New England area. We played, New Hampshire, we played Rhode Island, we played in Massachusetts, several places at the very kind of local underground level. But it was enough to put our name out there and start people, and become aware that there is the new act in town.
So within 2 years of that, you put out your first full-length album. You want to show it, right?
Right.
There it is. What can you tell me about this record?
Well, I can tell you that it was a troublesome record for some. We were working on it for a while, but we actually didn't manage to stumble on a stable vocalist. So when we started to work on it, our former vocalist Ashley Cavall decided to leave the band, leaving the three founding members, me, myself, Javier, who still plays in the band, and Jeff Taft, who is no longer in the band, really thinking what we're gonna do. We had material we wanted to put out forward, we didn't have members, right? So we essentially struggled to find a vocalist to put out the album. We were working on material, and then we found Jeff, and then we had essentially the opportunity to really flesh out this album together with someone who we felt would be able to drive it forward. So really thanks to Jeff, how this really came to fruition, and this album is a product of I guess several years of work and be kind of side project that many members in the band had. Jeff Taft, who is no longer in the band, really contributed heavily to this album, and but yeah, it was thanks to Jeff Stark that this album could really see light.
The title, Far-Flung Realm, what does that mean?
Yeah, Jeff Taft came up with the title, and the idea was actually inspired by a National Geographic poster describing the far-flung realm of the Vikings. And so back then we were like kind of inspired by some of that, epos. And the idea was actually to convey that this album will be also some sort of, in mythical sense, an expanding realm of, places, fantasy, history, and also, emotions. For us, it's a very varied album. So that's why we decided the Far-Flung Realm would be a comprehensive way to describe what we were working on.
You told me the EP allowed you to play local shows. What did Far-Flung Realm allow you to do?
Well, actually, this album opened us into this thing. So, really, thanks to this album, we were able to open up, we break through the local scene. So, the first thing that happened with this album was that we put it up on new wave of traditional heavy metal channel that Anderson Tiago runs. And that immediately took off, right? So there were like thousands of views many people were impressed by the content. So people started to become aware of us. People, hey, we didn't know about this band. These bands sound cool. And so with that, the record label, Cruz del Sur Music, Enrico became aware of us, and he decided to sign us for a re-release of this album. So we first released it as independent artists. Mm-hmm. We did some funded promotion, but then that kind of paid off. We actually did some interviews in Spanish media, we also had interviews in Norwegian media. The album really went through our own kind of ways, right? Long and far. We had people buying it from Greece, it was weird, from Norway. And
Self-release at that point.
Right.
Never thought.
so then we got that's essentially this is the album who landed us a deal with Cruz del Sur, which is I think one of the best heavy metal labels, and we're really proud of that relationship with them.
Staying with the 2-year pattern, the EP, the first album, second album, comes out, Demon Strain, right?
Right.
You want to show it and,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
begin to delve into it?
Beautiful cover.
Yeah, it is. All right, so how did things change from the first two to this record?
I think in some ways, in some ways we kind of got to open up a little bit more musically in a sense. There's some songs similar to it was on Far From Rome, as well as, like Dark Moon Goddess, which has a little more of a moody, maybe a kind of a proggy twist in there as well. And then,
I think composition-wise, we are more
mature.
In this album, we have a little bit more balanced composition. Javier Estrada is taking more of a writing role, and we are, we are trying to essentially try to explore more territory, right? So every song, we have 4 songs on the album, right? So it's an EP, but it runs almost at 30 minutes. It's almost
an album.
It's
It
almost
could be
an album.
It's for some.
And so every song has a different flavor, right? The first song is a new song that was not released on this album, but was written. The lyrics were written still by Jeff Taft. A very powerful, epic song. We wanted to get something of a stage kind of presence, and we always play that on live. Dark Moon Goddess is the song that you mentioned. The New Terrain. Thundermark, old song, we decided to re-record with him on vocals. We thought Thundermark also kind of was our first song we ever did with the band, some sort of a interesting thing to
Off that
revive.
first EP you mentioned.
And then House Carpenter was our way to pay tribute to this epicness in metal. So House Carpenter is a 10-minute long running song. We were very ambitious. It was COVID. We were stuck at our home studios and we were trying to do something that would be really epic because everything around was kind of glam.
Yeah,
And so we kind of got, in love with this idea of making an epic tribute to this, old Scottish ballad about, a lady who is being taken by the demon who comes from the seas, and she doesn't know he's a demon though, and then essentially they end up dying in the waters of the sea, and she goes to hell, and that goes in the song. And what we do is kind of give it a twist, where she essentially is empowered by that, rite of breaking through her, traditional homebound, chains and goes into a new life. And she's actually the main character of the cover. So this is after you see the demon behind, and then she's our already kind of reincarnated, woman warrior, powerful, leading the way. And this is the ship actually on which she's being taken.
So it's all connected.
It's all connected, and the title comes from that, the Daemon Strain.
You got the moon.
And we have
For Dark Moon, right?
For Dark Moon Goddess, that's right.
Are you happy with how things have turned out with the EP and 2 full lengths?
To some degree, I would say everything is relative. For us, I believe the impact of these albums has been fantastic. We have had invitations to play in places we never would have done, we wouldn't even have dreamed of, right? So at the moment we have this year 3 festivals, this 1-2 more coming down at the end of the year. We have new dates in 2024 unannounced yet, but also big festivals. Really is opening us to the wider community. And in terms of impact and how many people listen to the album, I think this is the best we could have hoped for now as artists.
Do you feel you were able to define your style so far?
I would say to agree, but I think we're still kind of discovering some more, in a sense. Like any band, any artist,
Lots
they're always
forward.
evolving.
I would say this is an asymptote, right?
Yeah,
You always are, the more you work together, the more you experiment new things.
Yeah, you kind of evolve into something,
I think for us in the new album that we are working on, you will see that what we are trying to do is much more focus on atmosphere, like creating this atmosphere that would be, epic, a feeling that would drive you, and also creating a story, right? As we did with EP, story from the beginning and end, everything connected. We're trying to do that as much as we can. And then, how much that differentiates us from other bands, well, that's up to the listener. So we're trying our best to essentially drive what we feel is unique to what we feel and how we feel the music.
Finally, what's next for you?
Well, obviously, as you mentioned, we got some festivals coming up, some other shows in between.
So let's mention the festivals, right?
Yes, today, obviously. Going on right now, we got Legions, Metal Legions in Chicago, naturally.
And we have
Then we got
Stormbringer in July in Worcester. And we have LA Gates of Hell
Gates of Hell.
in October this year. So those are the big kind of festivals we have been covered so far, which is pretty nice. We've never been actually to the West. So
And then in between that, we're in the process of writing.
Yeah.
So we're
the
working on
full
trying to
length,
get a new album.
second full length is coming along, and we're very much busy when we are not playing with composition.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
for
much.
this.